Alrighty guys, thanks for checking in here at stormtopia.com. Nick Sayer here for the daily forecast video. Let's get back to the weather now. Let's take a look at the current infrared satellite imagery. You can see the major feature you're noticing right now is number one is the thing going on here. Number two is the thing going on here. I do have a brain. I am going to explain each thing. Thing number one is the leading edge of some colder air, and it is sparked some freezing rain today all up and down the Appalachians. Wasn't as big as a deal in New England and New York State as some people perceived it to be. I never really thought it would be huge. But there were some slippery sliding. In fact, some folks down in State College in Pennsylvania actually slipped due to this freezing rain. The good news is that's moving out. It's going to be rain, snow mixed tonight in the North Country, melted by tomorrow morning. And then cooler air coming in. It's going to hover over the Midwest, and it's not really going to have too much of an impact. Here's the forecast now. We're going to see a calm mix of clouds and sun here in the Northeast into the midweek, and a late week storm is brewing. We're going to give you our precipitation rundown on that. We're going to talk about the models as we always do. A stormier pattern after January 27th into mid-February with breaks of warmth and peace. And the teleconnections are also becoming more favorable as we go out and through time. Tuesday will feature cloudy skies to the north and west, as the storm that is pushing out now will be very stubborn in clearing, and there's also going to be a little bit of moisture left around the Great Lakes, just enough to penetrate to the north and east into northern New England. Wednesday is going to be very calm. Late week, late Thursday into Friday, this is what we're going to be looking at. This is when things are getting interesting once again. If you remember, the last storm looked a lot like this, our first precipitation map we put out, and what happened? We moved the snowy area all the way down south. Will that happen again? Oh, it definitely could. In fact, that's the latest model trend. Okay, this is what the model is showing right now for late Thursday into Friday. Let's show you each model. I'm going to start you off with the latest and greatest European forecast model, and this is arguably the best model that we have access to in the medium range. It tends to be the best with snowstorms here in the Northeast. The GFS tends to be quite disastrous. Let's take a look at both, and I'll tell you which one I like. Here we are by Thursday afternoon. Storms developing. Cold air not set into the Northeast. Where's our bubble high? Well, it's not a bubble high, but it's a high. It's to the north and west. It's stuck over the Midwest. It's not progressing east. If it progressed east, we'd have a major snowstorm. What happens with it? Whoa. It pushes out to the Northeast. Becomes a mostly rain event all the way in through here. However, check this out. A little bit of a variation from my map. Check out what the European wants to do. Let's zoom real close into the Northeast. Here we are by Friday morning. Here's where the precipitation is. It's basically falling at a decent clip this whole area. How about where's the 850 millibar temperatures? Now this is not typically where it's below 0, 850 millibars. You can at least expect a mix. Where it is below -2 degrees, you can expect mostly snow. Well, look at this. Snow and mix all the way into here. Does that look like a trend south? Sure does. Take a look at the GFS. I'm going to load it up right now. For some reason it was not previously showing. Here's the latest GFS model. Same general idea by 7 p.m. Thursday. Precip shield pushing up into western Connecticut. Overall, the snow ends up being in northern New England. Back AccuWeather's gone with this approach, I think. I haven't even loaded up AccuWeather, but actually I do have it loaded up. AccuWeather, I don't always go with other forecasters' opinions. I just like to spread the opinions around. They're going with something somewhat similar. The jet stream down here, and then the snow up here across northern New England in this whole yellow area. And right near the Mass New Hampshire border, and guys, this is speculation. Even what AccuWeather is doing, we don't know exactly where the rain snow line is going to be. No one does. My map is, as Bush would say, speculation, okay? So don't take the models for granted until you're within 2 to 3 days of the event. Right now, we're about 5 days away. This is Friday. Clears out Friday afternoon all the way back in here. There'll probably be at least a school delay if it turns out like that. The second storm is trailing behind it. It's a nasty storm. It's got the looks of an intense coastal storm. This is from the 27th through the 28th. If there was enough cold air in place, which there won't be, there would be a ton of snow in here. and I don't even think it's going to go like that. I think that it's probably going to track further north, and I think the weekend is going to be harboring a storm threat, and if not the weekend, it'll be further out in time. Now I'm going to load up for you the long-range GFS out all the way to 16 days. You're going to see what I'm talking about, and I'm going to show you the long-range European model. Okay, you can see the stormy pattern that we're finally going to be getting into. This is the GFS. And, okay, 31st. Check out, here's the first storm. Quite the storm, around the 4th of February. And this is out there. I'm not saying there's going to be a storm on the 4th. I'm trying to convey the message that there's a storming pattern en route. Here's storm 1. Alright, well, it only shows one storm, but it's a nasty one. And that's just part of it. Let's take a look at the European model. This is pretty much 12Z. It's a longer range 12Z. This is a Storm Vista image here. And what you're essentially noticing is that beyond the 29th, around that stormy pattern, check out what pops up immediately after. Pretty impressive snowstorm. Again, guys, I'm not guaranteeing, this is on the 1st of February, I'm not guaranteeing this is going to happen. This storm may or may not happen. Probably won't happen. Trying to convey the message that it's a stormy pattern. This is a lot of snow all the way in here. And this rain-snow line, not that far away from the big cities on the back end. What does this look like? Kind of looks like the snow cane. Not saying anything, just saying. Well, that is basically the way we're going to be looking at this. That's how the teleconnections line up. Let's take a look at the latest NAO. Check it out, going negative after the 4th of February. Neutral through the 31st, negative into February. These are different models. The first was the GFS, second was the Euro. GFS Ensemble is almost never right because it keeps it positive. Not because it keeps it positive, it's never right because it sucks and it keeps it positive. The European Ensemble is near neutral. Even a neutral is not half bad for snowstorm territory. Sparing of the Arctic Oscillation, it'll be negative beyond reasonable doubt. Here's the NAO again. PNA. Positive after the 31st. Sounds good. European not always right. Sometimes it is. Could be this time around, but it has it negative. There's a little bit of a disagreement. GFS Ensemble, again, this is rarely right, but it does keep it positive, so maybe we'll make it right. But the point of the matter is, guys, we're going to be looking at stormier pattern as we get into this time period. Once you get into the later of the month, around the Florida primary, do expect a little bit after a couple days, a little before a couple days, expect a stormier pattern. And again, Thursday and Friday, this is the way the storm's looking right now. Could it change? Definitely. Have a good day.